For this cast, they were fantastic. I want to start with Patrick asking you about making this movie, what it took to make this movie, what it was like shooting it in Hattiesburg.
Well, you know, I read this book when I was a freshman in college. I left Mississippi. I went to school in Boston, and I remember sitting on the plane on my way to Boston and saying to myself that when I get off this plane, every person that I meet from this moment on is going to know exactly who I am. So that was my coming out. There was no announcement, there was no anything. It was just, it's just once I got to Boston, life began. And I went to a bookstore. There was a big bookstore in Harvard Square. There was a big bookstore in Harvard Square, and there was a gay and lesbian section. And I marveled at that there was actually a gay and lesbian section. And there was one book out of all of the books that I could tell had on the spine an illustration of a black person. And that book was Blackbird by Larry Duplichan, who is also here. Larry, can you sing? Just to finish up, and you know, I'd read books, but this was the first black gay coming of age, so I knew, I read the book that night, and I knew that someday I would make it into a movie. So to years later go home to Hattiesburg, which is a very different place than it was when I was a teenager, was quite remarkable.
Monique and Cindy, I want to ask you about getting involved with this project and what brought you to the project, Monique, and also to work with Sydney, because the first thing you see when this movie comes up is also that Hicks Media and those three beautiful boys on that screen.
It was definitely a blast to work with someone that you've gone to high school with, and your best friend, and you get married, and you get an opportunity to make a film that you consider to be relevant, something that allows people to take an intellectual and somewhat spiritual doggy bag home and take something with them from the movie. So not only is it entertaining, but people can get a chance to identify themselves as well as others in their lives and see where they fit, and if there's some room for change, then so be it. But it was a blast.
Monique, what about you? What did you love about this project?
The reason why, for me, personally, and what I might get ready to say may not be politically correct, but the reason why I signed up for this, because when I was about 15 years old, I had begun to hang out with a group of gay guys. And at the time, I didn't know they were gay guys. I just thought all these guys thought I was extra special, and they wanted to hang out with me. And I was really feeling myself, so they took me to a gay club. And that night, these group of guys said to me, "You know you're a fag hag." That's what they said. And I said, "Well, what is a fag hag?" And they said, "You absolutely adore us, and you don't judge it, and you let us be who we are." And from that moment, I embraced that community because that community embraced me. And for all of those guys that I hung out with, all of them are deceased, except for one. So for me personally, this was my love letter to all of those guys and to all of the women who can't walk in their freedom and who was too afraid to say, this is who I was made to be. So when I looked at my best friend, my husband, and we stood on a balcony in the 10th grade at this school called Randallstown High School. And I looked at him and I said, one day, we're gonna be stars. And then he said, you first. So to stand here with y'all tonight and we see our three babies up on that screen, it says Hicks Media Productions, it's an honor. And I'm very proud to stand here. We're very proud to stand here with all of these fearless people, amazing people. And Patrick, I never thought that I would have another opportunity to work with someone who was fearless and who wasn't afraid to tell a story. And when I got a chance to work with Lee Daniels, I thought that that would be my only time that I could play with someone like that, until I met Patrick Iron Pope. And when I met Julian Walker, you were, yes. To be a young man and to be black in our society, and to say proudly, I am gay, and I'm going to show it in a film. We on that, brother, and you'll save a lot of lives that you didn't even sign up to think that that was going to happen. But so many young boys, especially black boys, won't walk in shame anymore. So we thank you.
I want to ask you about making this movie and what it means to play this character that will be an important character for so many people out there.
You want your mama to hug you?
All right. Playing this part means the absolute world to me. Like, what y'all saw on that screen was me. Like, that was my, it was like I was telling my own personal story. Oh, man. I never thought in a million years that I would be standing on the stage with such amazing people. And coming into this role, I realized that, Julian, this is your first role. Nobody's ever seen you before. Nobody knows your name. And I remember the first day of set, I came and I was so afraid. And I believe I picked everyone up in my car. And I was like, oh my God, let me clean my car. Let me make sure everything is straight. This little Mississippi boy is picking up all these big name people. So, honestly speaking, when I thought that it was going to be so hard, I thought that everyone was going to be like, you know, oh my God, this new guy. But I mean, everyone on stage was so welcoming. So welcoming. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better first group of people to work with. Everyone went over and beyond, but I'm sorry I went off the question. But playing this role was absolutely amazing. Like I said, I felt like I was basically telling my own story. Randy Russo is like millions and thousands of young male guys out there, and some females that are so confused. They don't know what they want. They feel like they can't tell their parents, hey, this is who I am. All I want you to do is love me. That's all I want from you. And to look out in the audience to see my father and my brother. It means the absolute world to me. Because I know that I am blessed to have a father and a mother and a family and a brother who support me and who's behind me 100%, because I know a lot of people don't have that today. But I kind of forgot the rest of the question.
No, that's I want to ask Isaiah a question, because he plays a very important role in this movie and is as the accepting father. So many people need to see that and understand that you can still love your child. Isaiah, tell me about taking on this role.
You know, if people look at my life, I didn't become an actor to be the next Denzel Washington. I had no interest in that because I'm already a Washington. And I'm a mama's boy, so I knew I was special with my grandmother and my mother from a very long time ago. The moment I went to a barbecue place on Christmas Day and they stole my 10-speed bicycle, they told me, don't leave that bike outside. And I did it anyway because I wanted everybody to see I had a brand new bike. And I went in and I got my pickle pig feed, and I got my barbecue, and I got my regulars, and I came back and my bike was gone. And it was at that moment I realized, you know what? This sheltered point of view has to stop. It became very clear to me that everyone didn't have the blessings Everyone didn't have the gift of love and support. And although that bike was a beautiful Schwinn at the time, I cried all night and all day till my grandmother got me another bike, and it was a Huffy. And I realized that, you know, till you get your ish together, you're gonna always get a Huffy instead of a Schwinn. So at that point, that if you want to keep your Schwinn, you have to step up and shine your light and spread the love. And although I didn't have my biological father with me, I knew that when one day I'm going to become a father, and I'm going to be a representative of all those fathers that look like me, and show them that you can be strong, you can be intelligent, and you can be beautiful, but you don't have to show it off, but you got to pay it forward, you got to pay it forward. And this is just a continuation of me being the father that I always dreamed to be. My wife, my 3 kids, my family from the ashram, Obatala, Ogun, Obadavan. Yes, 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 yes. Om Shanti. This is just one big village. I'm just paying it forward. I just want to love everyone that love themselves. That's it.
I almost lost you on the swing in Huffy, but I understand that's the entire cast, and anyone can answer this movie because we are talking about the significance. When you were making this movie, though, did you feel a responsibility and that you were carrying a responsibility for so many people out there? Not anybody from the cast, get in. Gary.
Oh, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
I definitely did. Responsibility. It wasn't on. I definitely did feel a responsibility playing the role. I actually have worked with Patrick before, and that role really set in motion for me a feeling of responsibility when I actually take on roles. And when he called for Blackbird, I instantly knew that I had to take a look at the project, and upon first read of just, it was like 2 pages of sides that I got, you can just feel it. You can really just feel it. And when I read the script, you really get a sense of what you have to do. It's a duty. It's an actor's duty to play these roles, to save people. I know when I watch certain roles, I grew up watching certain actors that I feel saved my life. And you know, it may be small things or it may be something big, like I feel this is, but everybody watches something, and you get that feeling when you watch a person play a role or you watch a movie that speaks to you, and you as an actor want to do that for somebody. That's why I do this. I want somebody to feel that. I want somebody to feel what I feel when I sit in that audience and I watch a movie that just speaks to me. And Patrick, man, you be speaking to people. So it's just our duty, and it's just something that I feel was a responsibility to just put this man's vision on film as best as I possibly could. And I feel that that's probably a unanimous thing with all of us. So that's definitely.
How do we spread the word? How do we spread the movement of this movie?
I'm just an artist. I don't know.
We don't have that much time. Okay. Okay. The new African drum for me is Twitter. You can always go at Black Film, at Blackbird the film. That would help a lot. Hashtag we are Blackbird. Since you've seen this, you have now been infected, so you are Blackbird. And you can also hashtag I am Blackbird. Now, we do not have a clear vision on a distributor at this point, so as much as you can get Twitter popping right now, where we can start trending, that would be help. The synergy and the energy helps. We have the distribution. It just hasn't found us yet. Okay? And there's a lot of great people on this stage that have been working extremely hard. You guys have no idea how hard it is to be an independent filmmaker. I have so much respect for independent filmmaking right now because I had no idea how hard it is. But it's a pleasure to be on this team and to be able to not fight, but push this dream. Because it's all our dream. We're all Blackbirds individually. We all know struggle, and we all have pain, and we've all known loss.
Amen.
Okay? And that is what this film is about. And ultimately, it is these performances that were completely divine and unselfish that will heal all of us, not only here domestically, but across the continents. This message is universal. Gay is not a disease. It's not a disease. It's just who we are. And we're all blackbirds.
And